Will and Pat. Will and Pat, why did y'all change your minds? This was the dumbest thing that y'all could have done. When I tell you that this didn't make sense at all, it did not make sense at all. Welcome to my channel. We're here. We break down reality TV shows with laughter and reenactments, all while giving it to you straight with no chaser. Because we don't just watch TV around here, we get into the things of the things. So sit back and relax. I hope you enjoy the video. Hey y'all, it's Chloe and we're back with another video. Married at First Sight Season 19, Decision Day. Y'all, when I tell you, I was sitting here like, what the F just happened? Because I know what just happened did not just happen, but it happened. It happened. And we gonna talk about it. But before we do, if this is your first time here, sit back, relax, watch the video through. And if you like what you see and you like what you hear, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you've been joining me all season and you have yet to subscribe, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Why? Because you like it here and I want you here. And there's no need to leave me when the season is over as if we're not reviewing more shows. You know what I mean? So just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're one of my lovely members or subscribers, hey y'all, how y'all doing? I'm doing okay, but I'm ready to talk about Married at First Sight, okay? We got things to discuss and we got some things to get into, so let's just go ahead and do that. Hey, Dr. Pepper. Long time no see. Nice to see you. I'm glad you decided to show up for something, very much something, because where have you been all season? Dr. Pepper is sitting up there with Pastor Cal and Dr. P like she been here all season. Like she know what's going on. I'm just saying, what was the reason? Dr. Pepper, why are you here? Child. Anyway, she there, Pastor Cal there, and Dr. P is there, and the color is pink. You know I'm here for the color pink, but the experts, you know, they really just be pissing me off every season because there was no reason to try to convince these people to stay together. There really wasn't. But nonetheless, let's get into it. So we start with Jaylen and Josh, right? We watch a montage of their relationship on how we got to Decision Day and whether or not they should stay married. They sit down, they start talking about the biggest challenges that they had in their marriage, right? Jaylen brought up how they have different lifestyles, you know, because he likes to go to festivals and things like that. And she's not really big into that, okay? He's telling her that he hopes that she's able to move past this and they can build their own community like they've been saying that they're going to do. There's a reason why she can't move past it, and that is because you are lying to her. You are lying to her, Josh. Josh has been lying and faking it this whole entire season, okay? I've been trying to pinpoint what it is about Josh, and it's just the fact that he's lying. The way he behaved when it came to Burning Man, there's no way that you want me to believe that you were just going to get up and stop going, okay? The same way that you were supposed to block that ex that you never did is the same way that you're not going to stop going to these festivals. So miss me with all of that, okay? Miss me with it. And Jaylen knows that he's not going to stop going, okay? Because even Jaylen said that she's so happy that he's been prioritizing their relationship, but she's worried that he will change his mind and start resenting her. There's your answer right there. There is your answer right there. Sometimes people show you exactly who they are and you refuse to listen because they saying something else. Listen to the actions. The saying is actions speak louder than words. That man cried at the thought of not going to a daggone Burning Man. Do you really think he's going to give it up? Absolutely not. And he will resent you. He will, okay? So now it's the big question. Josh, Jaylen, do you want to stay married or get a divorce? Of course Josh says yes because he's fake. I feel like he did this for clout. Of course he says yes. He says he wants to stay married to her. And Jaylen says that although they are different, their core values align, and for that she wants to stay married. I'm not surprised that these two chose to stay married. I just know it's not going to last. Okay, I expected for them to say that, yes, we're going to stay married. But by reunion, I expect them to be divorced. Let's move on to Pat and Rhonda. Now, Pat is headed to Decision Day, and he said that he's feeling conflicted and he doesn't know what he's going to do. Say no. You don't know what you're going to do? I'm going to tell you. Say no, okay? So they both get in there. They sit down, right? Now, Rhonda said, hold on. Let me stop. Let me stop before I even continue. Why was everybody dressed up for the daggone Decision Day, but then when we got to the reunion, most of the men looked like they didn't even know they was coming to a reunion, okay? I saw the pictures on Instagram and I was like, what is this? I was actually going to do a reaction video to their outfits, but it was nothing to react to. Half the men looked like they just put on some clothes and decided that today was the reunion and they was going to show up. The girls in all these pretty sparkly gowns, and the men look like, I'm just here, be happy I'm here, take that or leave it. That's what the energy was giving. But everybody on decision day came dressed to the nines, so I appreciate that. Let's get back into Pat and Rhonda. So Pat and Rhonda sit down, right? Now, she said that it's been tough and they have been through a lot. And what's most important is for them to do what's best for them individually, right? And the reason why she thinks that they need to do what's best for them individually is because she feels like Pat has already made up his mind. Because she said that Pat is like sitting back and he's choosing not to hurt her hand and his legs are folded. And so therefore, it feels like he already made up his mind. But my thing is, you don't get to speak for Pat, Rhonda. That's the issue this whole time. You always got to start talking. You always got to start talking and make everything about you and how you feel. Blah, 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 blah. Let Pat speak for his damn self. Nobody asks you, does Pat look like he's going to say yes or no? No. Nobody asks you. That's the problem right there. So Dr. P was like, Pat, have you made up your mind? Are you done? And Pat was like, yeah. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Pat, because there was no reason for you to have to say yes. Pat said that he'd been through this before in his previous marriages where, he felt like he was being swept along and he ignored all the red flags and he had to learn to consider himself and choose himself. And I was like, I know that's right, Pat. I was so happy. When I tell you I was elated, I was in my feels. Finally, you are free from Rhonda, right? Right. He said that he doesn't trust that she will see and hear him as his authentic self. So Rhonda's like, I've been asking you to be your authentic self. So how could you expect me to see it if you never showed me your authentic self? Pat said, listen, there has been one thing consistent about everything. You've been saying over and over how I don't care about you. And that was me being my authentic self. He said he was trying to do everything that she wanted. He was trying to be everything that she needed. He was supporting her and doing all the things that he felt like a husband should do. And that was him being his authentic self. And you know what? That was not enough for her. It wasn't. Because every time Pat tried to show a little bit of himself, a little bit of ounce, it never was enough for Rhonda. That's why when they were talking to his friend and he was like, I don't have the space. You don't give him the space to be himself. Like, miss me with that, Rhonda. Now, of course, she's going to sit there and start crying because she has to play victim, right? She has to play victim. She, once again, wants to take the attention from what Pat is talking about and blame him. She's talking about how he wasn't meeting her emotional needs. Her emotional needs wasn't being addressed. That man sat there and was telling you how he didn't feel seen or heard by you. You didn't acknowledge that, not one bit. The only thing you want to do is turn around and talk about how your emotional needs are not being met. And Dr. Pepper holds up, wait a minute now. Because what we're not about to do is sit here and throw this back on Pat. Y'all have lost your everlasting mind the way they sat up there and gaslit Pat. They gaslit that man. Pat, you are not crazy for feeling the way you feel. I'm just letting you know that right now, okay? You're not crazy. Dr. Pepper talking about something. Well, maybe if she felt seen, Pat, then it wouldn't keep coming up. Have y'all not realized that that man hasn't had a chance to even open his mouth for 5 seconds without her jumping in? Somebody in the comments in the live said Rhonda just want to be so deep, so bad. And she's not. That's the problem. Every time they sit down and talk, she acts like she's teaching him something. She's digging deep and diving. No. Your life isn't that exciting. Nothing about you is that exciting. That it has to be all about you. I'm just so mad that they sat there and tried to convince him, Pastor Cal, talk about something. Can we focus on the good stuff? No, let's not focus on the good stuff. Let's focus on how nasty, how rude she has been to Pat this whole season. Let's talk about how she's weaponizing her tears to get sympathy from y'all so that y'all can make Pat feel bad. And you know what? It worked. It worked because Pat was like, we could rebuild trust. And I said, no, Pat, no, you will regret this. You will regret this. He said that he's on the fence, but he's starting to listen to his heart. Never listen to your heart. Never listen to your heart. The heart will always lead you down the path of destruction. Listen to your brain, the logical side of everything. Don't listen to your heart. It's never going to end well. It's never going to end well. Y'all don't understand the frustration I felt watching this because why? Why? Pastor Cal talking about something. So, do you want to stay married? And Pat said, yeah. Pat said, yeah. And she's sitting there crying, talking about, how she's scared, but she's not ready to say no. She wants to stay married. Go away from me with this because it pissed me. I have to make sure my boo button worked today because y'all don't understand how bad I just wanted to yell. This some bullshit, okay? Instead of saying this some bullshit, I'm just going to press my boo button because that's exactly what the F that was, okay? So now we move on to Derrek and Meghan. And yes, when Derrek was on his way there, he said her being pregnant is very much changed everything. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Y'all gotta stay married now. I know y'all don't gotta stay married, but it would make no sense for y'all not to. It would make no sense for y'all not to, okay? So I will say that Derrek and Meghan look really, really good on that couch together. I said, oh, they look like a really good couple. He had the little red in his jacket. She had the red dress. They looked nice together, okay? They sat down, they started talking. Now, Derrek talked about how they had some communication issues, and how she was always being defensive. And then they had some disagreements on the household responsibilities and things like that. But ultimately, they are working through it, okay? She's working on not being so defensive. He's working at his approach to things. And they seem to be on a good track together, right? Pastor Cal was like, so have y'all figured out what's happening with the children? So you mean to tell me that y'all want us to believe that y'all didn't know that Meghan was pregnant? Okay. Okay. So then Meghan says, you know what? We're actually pregnant right now. And they go, what? Are you? Oh my God. Yeah. And we wasn't even trying. Meghan, go away from me with this. I'm not even about to play with y'all today when it comes to these two, because of course they wanted to stay married. Pastor Cal said, go ahead and do what married people do. Baby, they been doing that. You ain't got to tell them. That is not the couple you need to tell, for sure, okay? So we get to Belinda and Chad, and I'm up in the air with how I feel about Belinda and Chad, right? Because I really feel like there is potential here. There's something that could blossom from this. But I feel like the conversation about the dog is going to be a big factor between these two. Chad don't like that dog for real, okay? He don't like that dog for real at all. And Belinda is going to constantly be triggered by Chad because Chad has PTSD and he gets triggered by everything. And she can't handle that because she wants peace in her life and she dealt with that in the past. So I would suggest maybe just not say yes on decision day. But here we are, okay? Chad said that he can't see his life without her. And he hopes that she knows that he will protect her and that they can work through this, right? Now, Belinda said that she's worried about losing her voice in her marriage because she's been here before. But she also doesn't want to lose a partner because she doesn't want to be alone anymore, which is why she signed up for Married at First Sight to begin with. So they get into decision day, they sit down on the couch, and they start discussing the good times that they had in their marriage. Now, Belinda only could think of one thing, okay? And that's when they was dancing in the living room when he was a little wasted and they had a good night, okay? But Chad had a whole list of things. Oh, I love when she's telling stories. Oh, I love this. Like, he has a whole rundown of all the good memories, and she only got one. That should tell you a lot. That should tell you a lot right there. If you was with that man for 8 weeks straight and you could only think of one good time in that whole marriage, right now on decision day, I would say no. I can think of more good times that y'all had than you can. But if you can't, that means that the bad is outweighing the good for sure. For sure, okay? Now, Chad said that he realized that he hurt her and that he needs to find a healthier way to burn off steam and let go of some stress. We agree. Right? So I'm assuming that maybe once the cameras are gone, everything's going to be great. Maybe they will have this nice, peaceful life that she wants, okay? He said that he genuinely cares about her and he thinks she cares about him. And that as long as they care about each other and love each other, they can figure out everything else. I just don't know if these two will work long term. He gets up, he turns to her, and he asks her, would she stay married to him? And the hesitation that Belinda had lets me know that her mind was saying no. Her mind was saying no, but she didn't have the heart to say it. Okay? She was sitting there and she said she knows that if they're working on it, that they can get through it. And she wants to make this work. Whoo, child. We four for five right now. 4 for 5 right now because y'all pushing it. Belinda, the hesitation that you had before saying yes lets me know everything that I needed to know. You don't feel comfortable with Chad. And there's no way this relationship is going to ever work if you don't feel comfortable with him. No matter how much he reassures you or tell you that he's going to change and things are going to work and blah, 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 it's not going to happen like that. You should have listened to your brain telling you no instead of going with your heart and feeling bad because you didn't want to say no. So now we get to Brittany and Will. Now Brittany said that she's showing up because she wants to hear him out. And she wants him to hear her out. And I'm like, girl, ain't nothing to hear. The man said no. Ain't nothing to hear. The man said no. What more do you want from him? What more do you need? He said no. Will came in and got straight to it, okay? He told Dr. P and Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper, I told Brittany no, and my brain is all over the place right now. And they was like, oh, you told her no? Why? What happened? He basically told them that she feels like he hasn't been trying this whole time, okay? So he brought up how he explained what love means to him and how he said that he wanted to make her happy and he wanted to grow together. And she told him, no, love is passion and that he doesn't love her. He said that she tries to compare how she feels to how he feels. And if it's not the same, then his feelings are invalid. And then he brought up how she said that maybe she's not the one for him. And he said that he can't be with someone who he feels like he's not good enough for. I've said this over and over and over again, and y'all wasn't trying to hear me though, okay? I've been saying it and screaming it from the top of my lungs that Brittany has been projecting how she feels onto him. You feel like he doesn't love you does not mean that he does not love you. You feel like you may not be the right one for him does not mean that he feels that you may not be the right one for him. If you feel like you're not the right person for him, that means that maybe he's not the one for you, Brittany. I've been saying this over and over that she has been projecting onto Will because he does not respond or behave the way that she would like for him to behave, right? I knew that. And I knew that that conversation on the boat was going to be a turning point for Will. And he was not going to want to stay in this marriage. And he basically just said that. He said that. Now, Pastor Cal was like, it's almost like she wants you to fight for her. And I'm like, understandable, right? You want to feel like the person you want is fighting for you. But every time you ask that person a question and they give you an answer, you start fighting them on it, is a whole different thing. A whole different thing. And that's what she did. She was fighting that man on every answer that he gave her. So Brittany comes in and she says that she's shocked because she thought that they were going to go continue their happy marriage after this. And I'm just confused. I'm confused because Brittany, what do you mean? What do you mean? There is no way that you were satisfied with the way Will has been responding and handling you this whole season. There's no way, because every chance you got, you complained about it. Every chance you got, you fought him on it. So why would you want to stay married to someone who you are unsure how they feel about you? Please make it make sense. Why would you want to stay married to Will when you don't think that he loves you? Because he doesn't love you the way you want him to love you, right? So Brittany tells him that she apologized if she hasn't expressed how much he means to her. She said that he brings her so much joy. She's so happy and excited to be around him. And it's been a blessing getting to know him. And y'all, my heart is breaking for Brittany because she is falling apart. She is telling this man how she's sorry if she made him feel like he wasn't important or his feelings wasn't important. And she is like really going through it because she loves him. And I'm just sitting here like, you got to get out of your feelings. You have to get out of your feelings and use your brain. The man said no. The man said no. Don't let a man tell you more than once he don't want you. Once he said no, that was it. That was all, Brittany. There was no need to come here and express your feelings and pour out your heart and do all of that. He's like, I didn't know that you felt that. She said that she was asking him to make it easier. And then she started to see him opening up. And she never took the time to tell him that she noticed that he was opening up and that she appreciated it. And you want to know why, Brittany? Because he wasn't saying what you wanted to hear. If the man is showing you, if you saw that he was opening up and you was noticing that, you didn't bring that up and tell him that you was appreciating that. Instead, you decided to tell him that his version of love isn't your version of love, so there's no way that he can love you, right? It's an obligation. That's what happened. Once again, these two have missed each other in communication. So he apologized for not being the easiest person to understand. I'm glad you understand that you are not the easiest person to understand. And I'm glad you understand why she was questioning a lot of the things that you were saying. And that's my thing. Britney is not wrong for questioning how he feels about her, right? But my thing is, at some point, you have to stop trying to make this man say what you want to hear and just take it for what it is. Take it for what it is and make the decision for yourself. And she was never going to do that for herself, no matter how she felt. So now they want to know, do y'all want to stay married? Will gets up, he needs to go walk away and think about it. What are we thinking about? What do we think? You already said no. What do you need more time for? I'm confused. What do you need more time for? Y'all, he done walked around the trail, sweating in a suit. Like, be effing for real. Dramatic much? Very much. He comes back in and he sits down, right? So do y'all want to stay married or not? Britney, of course, wants to stay married. Dumb. Because why would you want to stay married to a man who you unsure about how he feels about you? Be for real. Be for real. And Will says that he changed his mind and he decided to stay married to her. He didn't mean that. I'm going to tell you how I know he didn't mean that. When Will is really sorry, based on everything that we've been watching, Will is very affectionate. Every time him and Britney get into it, he literally pulls her whole body to him. He pulls her in, he holds her. You want to know what he did? He grabbed her hand. He didn't mean that. He said he wanted to stay married out of pity because she just sat there and poured out her whole heart to him. And he would look like an asshole if he would say no. And he didn't want that. And he would have to deal with her doing more crying and all the things. And he didn't want that. So it was better for him at that moment to just go ahead and say, I'll stay married to you. And of course, he's going to kiss her because that's the easy part. But the way he embraced her after was not the Will type of embrace. Will literally always pulls Britney to him, pulls her in close, puts his arms around her, holds her, hugs her, all that. He grabbed her hand. Actions speak louder than words. Child, by the time we get to the reunion, nobody's going to be together. Nobody's going to be together. I can promise you that now. Anyway, y'all, that was decision day. I really hope y'all enjoyed this review. The reunion review will be up for y'all tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that because it's coming. And from some of the comments that I'm seeing, baby, I need to make sure I got my wig on tight. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think about decision day. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, hype the video up. Okay, you get 3 hypes a week. Say 1 for me, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. And with all that being said, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.